Some buildings breathe when no one's watching. I didn't believe that until the night I broke into the Larimore Theater, a place sealed shut for nearly 40 years and whispered about like a ghost itself. We used to joke about it in high school. The old cursed stage, the spotlight that turned on by itself, the actor who died mid-performance. You know, the kind of urban legends every town has. But Larimore was different. It was still there, hulking over Main Street like a decaying memory, its iron doors rusted shut, and the brick facade crusted with moss and grime. Nobody talked about restoring it. Nobody talked about tearing it down either. It just lingered. And maybe that was the first sign something was wrong. Nothing that dead should linger. It was a stupid dare. Of course it was. Chris, Amanda, and I had grown up hearing stories about the place. On our last weekend before college, we wanted one last thrill. Amanda swiped her dad's bolt cutters. Chris brought flashlights and snacks like it was a camping trip. Me? I brought a crowbar, because I'm the idiot who actually planned to go inside. The front doors wouldn't budge, but the alleyway entrance, an old metal door flaking with rust, opened after some elbow grease and 2 broken crowbar swings. Inside, it smelled like wet dust and mold. The air was heavy, like it hadn't been disturbed in years. We stepped into a long hallway that led to the lobby. Torn carpet, faded wallpaper, movie posters with dates from the 70s still hanging askew. I shined my flashlight on a framed schedule. The last show was on Halloween night, 1981. I remember because that's the night the lead actor Julian Crane dropped dead on stage. You'd think a place abandoned for decades would be silent, but Larimore wasn't silent. It groaned, creaked. Whispers seemed to move just ahead of the light. Nothing loud, nothing obvious. Just enough to make your heart beat a little faster every time your footsteps echoed too long. The theater itself was massive. A wide auditorium with red velvet seats that had turned brown with dust and time. The curtains on stage were torn down the middle, hanging limp like dead skin. The spotlight, surprisingly, was still mounted above the stage. Amanda joked that we should put on a play. That's when we all heard it. The creak of the spotlight turning. Not a click, not a buzz. A slow, drawn-out creak like something was manually adjusting it from the rafters. The beam, dead for 4 decades, flicked on with a low hum and pointed straight at the stage, right where Julian Crane had died. Chris laughed. Okay, someone's screwing with us. No one touched anything, Amanda said, backing toward me. I pulled the crowbar tighter in my grip. Maybe power's still running? It shouldn't be, Chris replied. This place hasn't had a meter reading since the 80s. We stared at the stage, the beam of light unwavering. Then the temperature dropped, not like a draft, not like a chill. It felt like we were being plunged into a freezer. Amanda's breath fogged. Chris cursed under his breath. I could see my own hand trembling, and then we heard it. Footsteps, on the stage, deliberate, slow, the unmistakable sound of dress shoes on old wood. But there was nothing there. Until we saw the dust rise. It rose in small puffs matching the steps. 1, 2, 3. Across the spotlight's glow, invisible feet crossed the stage. Amanda screamed and ran for the exit. Chris followed, but I couldn't move. My legs felt filled with cement. I just stood there, flashlight trembling, watching the dust rise, until it stopped. Center stage, and then the whisper. Your line, a voice, right behind me. I turned the flashlight, heart hammering. No one was there, but a torn yellowed script lay at my feet, open to a scene titled Final Act. The character's name? Elias. The role Julian Crane was playing when he died. I didn't run, not then. I don't know why. Curiosity? Stupidity? Whatever it was, I picked up the script and read the line. I die not for sin, but for silence. The second I spoke, the light flickered, the room shook, and the stage responded. A trapdoor in the center opened with a shriek of rotted wood and rusted hinges. Something was down there. something that wanted me to finish the show. I finally ran, nearly breaking my ankle on the torn carpet in the aisle. Chris and Amanda were waiting outside, pale as ghosts themselves. We didn't speak much as we drove away, but later that night, I got a message from Amanda, a photo of the script, still open on that same line, sitting on her bed. That was 2 months ago. Since then, things haven't been normal. I see the spotlight in my dreams. Sometimes I wake up and find dust on my sheets. Sometimes I hear the audience clapping, softly, right before I open my eyes. And once, just once, I swear I saw Julian Crane's reflection in my bathroom mirror. Amanda's gone. She stopped answering texts a month ago. Her mom says she dropped out of school and moved out of state. I don't believe that. I've tried visiting, but her house is empty. Completely. Like no one lived there in years. Chris went missing last week. His apartment door was open. His phone is on the table. The only thing left was a folded page from that same script. Exit, pursued by silence. And now the script is showing up everywhere. I found it in my backpack, tucked under my pillow, in my glove box. Always open to different scenes, always urging me to perform. I've started to notice something else too. My reflection doesn't always move with me. Sometimes it lags behind. Sometimes its mouth moves on its own, mouthing the lines before I speak them. And the worst part? I think the final performance is coming. I didn't want to go back, but every night the script appeared somewhere new. Every morning something was off. My reflection smiled when I didn't. I found footprints in the hallway outside my locked apartment. The scent of old wood and stage dust lingered in my clothes. It was like the theater was pulling me back, rehearsing me. And then one night, the script changed. At the very end, in thick handwritten ink, was a new line. The show must go on. I drove to Larimore without planning to. I don't remember grabbing my keys. I don't even remember starting the car. All I remember is standing before the door in the alley, and it was already open. The theater was waiting. Inside, everything was the same, but cleaner. The dust was gone. The seats were upright. The curtains had been stitched. The stage looked fresh, polished, glowing under the single spotlight. It was like the building had rolled back time. There was even an audience. I couldn't see their faces, just silhouettes. Dozens of them, still, silent, watching. I tried to run, but my body walked forward. My mouth whispered lines I didn't remember memorizing. The script was in my hand, and every word felt carved into my bones. I die not for sin, but for silence. The audience clapped. Then they stood, and as I stepped onto the stage, I saw them clearly. Chris, Amanda, my old drama teacher, even Julian Crane, all dead, all smiling. Their hands didn't move when they clapped. Their eyes didn't blink. They weren't watching a performance. They were watching me become part of it. The spotlight burned brighter. The trap door creaked open again. I tried to stop. I screamed, but my voice didn't come out. Only the next line. Take me now, my final bow. A hand reached up from the trapdoor, pale, rotten, still wearing a cufflink. It grabbed my ankle, and I was pulled down into the dark. The audience gave a standing ovation. I don't know where I am now. I think I'm beneath the stage. I think I'm still falling, or floating, or rehearsing. Every time I try to scream, I just say my lines. Sometimes I see Chris across from me, repeating his scene. Amanda too, trapped in a monologue that never ends. Julian Crane never speaks. He just watches, smiling, waiting for the next actor to join us. So if you ever drive past Main Street and you see the Larimore Theater lit up again, run. Don't stop to look. Don't take pictures. Don't even think about going inside. Because once the curtains rise and the spotlight finds you, the show never ends.